We haven't quite made it to 337k, and a few weeks ago, possibly even 2 months ago, I had a particularly hot day, and the car I'm dailying right now, the aircon doesn't work. So I thought I'll get the V70 out because I know that the aircon is really good on it. Wants to be, considering it takes a full kilo of refrigerant. And I got about 200 yards down the road and it just cut out completely and wouldn't restart. Now, what I've got are a bunch of codes. Permanent one for the aircon, funnily enough, but the aircon was working fine. The only one that we've got that's permanent here is this fuel pressure too low. The intermittent ones, you can never be too sure whether they're going to be helpful or not. But we've got this fuel pressure too low, and irregularly, since having the car remapped, it has shown low fuel pressure and high fuel pressure at times. But now, with the car being in a no start situation, I've then gone through and looked at the live data to check whether we're getting fuel pressure. Now, I will note, as soon as I turn the ignition on, we get a whine from the lift pump. So I'm pretty sure that the in-tank fuel pump is working correctly. So then I went to the live data and looked at rail pressure. So we've got rail pressure and we've got the pressure regulator, which can often go. I've seen it go before. If you look at the rail pressure while cranking, still showing 0, which it was actually showing 2100 HPA, but not going up when cranking. Which, if the rail pressure sensor is reading correctly, does give you the impression that no fuel pressure is being created. So I'm of the mindset that I am going to be changing the high pressure fuel pump currently. What I'm going to do is just undo one of the high pressure fuel pipes going to the injector. So if that were pressurised, you would probably expect to see some dribbling out straight away. What I'll do now is crank the engine again. So yeah, we have absolutely no fuel pressure. No fuel pressure in the rail making its way to the injectors themselves. So today I will be replacing the high pressure fuel pump. I haven't got a huge amount of free time currently, so this isn't going to be a full-on how-to. What I'm going to do is remove the airbox assembly, get this out of the way, gives us more space. I'm going to check that the feed to the fuel pump is providing pressure, so that's the lift pump in the fuel tank. And then if that's working fine, pretty sure that it's going to be the high pressure fuel pump. I already believe it is, and we'll start removing it. So I'm going to get the airbox out of the way. Can't do it in the order that I thought, so I've removed the positive lead. I've disconnected the battery, obviously, in the boot. I've removed the positive lead from the electric box here in the engine bay. I've unclamped the wiring from the top of the engine, allowing me to move this box up and out of the way. Turns out this fuel pump is slightly different to the one that I've got spare, so I'm probably going to have to swap this from another car that I have. I won't be able to check the lift pump fuel pressure or feed because I've obviously had to disconnect this box. I'd have to put it back into position just to check it. I am very, very confident that the high pressure fuel pump is at fault, so what I'm going to do is remove it. This is the pipe going from the pump to the rail, so I need to take that one off. Disconnects the pressure regulator. I realised that the feed pipe is actually at the front, so I don't have an issue getting to it with the fuse box in position. So I've reconnected the positive on the fuse box. I can now connect the battery again. I haven't got anyone else to do it while I'm watching, so but you'll be able to see that I think tons of fuel will just pour straight out of there. Let's switch to ignition setting. Yeah, so there you go. So the lift pump is working absolutely fine. So the problem is most likely to be the high pressure fuel pump, that's all it really can be. So now we've just got the leak off pipe here, which looks like a 10mm. 1, 2 and 3. I'll just not be able to see that, but there's three bolts holding the high pressure fuel pump to the engine. So that's the bolts removed. There shouldn't be anything else holding it in position. What I'm expecting to see is the drive sheared off. Let it drop out. We'll see. It appears to be sheared off there. I'll just locate the bit that's dropped off. Visually, doesn't appear to be anything wrong, so perhaps the fault is internal. I'm not going to open it up, so the only definitive proof I'll have is when the new pump works. So I've removed the fuel pump from the donor car, fitted it to my car, refitted everything back together. Had to use hose clips, haven't got the right size, so it looks a bit of a mess, but I just need to make sure that it's going to be running. Refitted the high pressure pipe. These can be a bit temperamental in terms of getting them sealed. I've seen that you're supposed to replace them, but I've used them, reused them many times and got away with it. Completely up to you. So I'm going to try starting the car now, reconnect the battery and start the car. Thumbs up. Hold him. Thumbs up.